Hi, Satenico here once again for Godlovescomics, and we are continuing the reading of For Vendetta, and this is Book 2, The Vicious Cabaret. And this is actually something of a musical interlude between Book 1 and the continuation of the story, although there's certainly a story here as well. I do not read music, so if there is actual music on this page, aside from the lyrics that Alan Moore has written, I will not be reading them in rhythm, but we'll see what happens. The Vicious Cabaret. They say that there's a broken light for every heart on Broadway. They say that life's a game, and then they take the board away. They give you masks and costumes and an outline of the story, then leave you to improvise their vicious cabaret. In no longer pretty cities, there are fingers in the kitties. There are warrants, forms, and chitties, a jackboot on the stair. There's sex and death and human grime and monochrome for one thin dime, and at least the trains all run on time, but they don't go anywhere. Facing their responsibilities, either on their backs or on their knees. There are ladies who just simply freeze and dare not turn away. And the widows who refuse to cry will be dressed in garter and bow tie, and be taught to kick their legs up high in this vicious cabaret. At last, the 1998 show, the ballet on this burning stage, the documentary scene upon the fractured screen, the dreadful poem scrawled upon the crumpled page. There's a policeman with an honest soul that has seen whose head is on the pole, and he grunts and fills his briar bowl with a feeling of unease. Then he briskly frisks the torn remains for a fingerprint or crimson stains, and endeavors to ignore the chains that he walks into his knees. While his master in the dark nearby inspects the hands with a brutal eye that have never brushed a lover's thigh, but have squeezed a nation's throat. Dear leader. And he hungers in his secret dreams for the harsh embrace of cruel machines. But his lover is not what she seems, and she will not leave a note. At last, the 1998 show. The situation, tragedy, grand opera slick with soap, cliffhangers with no hope, the watercolor in the flooded gallery. There's a girl who'll push but will not shove, and she's desperate for her father's love. She believes the hand beneath the glove may be one she needs to hold. Though she doubts her host's moralities, she decides that she is more at ease in the land of doing as you please than outside in the cold. But the backdrops peel, and the sets give way, and the casts get eaten by the play. There's a murderer at the matinee. There are dead men in the aisles. And the patrons and the actors, too, are uncertain if the show is through, and with sidelong looks await their cue. But the frozen mask just smiles. At last, the 1998 show. The torch song no one ever sings, the curfew chorus line, the comedy divine, the bulging eyes of puppets strangled by their strings. There's thrills and chills and girls galore. There's sing-songs and surprises. There's something for everyone. Reserve your seat today. There's mischief and malarkeys, but no queers or yids or darkies. Within this bastard carnival, this vicious cabaret. End of prelude. And let's turn the page back around. That was essentially a very clever way in which Alan Moore could sort of summarize what happened in book one and where everyone was in terms of their thinking, including Evie, of course, who is growing to prefer this life of freedom, and just with stacks and stacks of VCR cassettes that she's been watching, which are, of course, an anachronism these days, but in this time period, an emblem of freedom, of contraband. So here we begin. January 5th, 1998, the Shadow Gallery. And of course, in that musical interlude, he's already promised the performance, the show for 1998. And as you see, my hands are quite empty, concealing nothing. Nor have I anything up my sleeve, and yet with the merest flick of my wrist, the rabbit is gone. Oh, bring her back. Bring her back. But what if she's content where she is? Do we have the right to disturb her? Ah, but I see, you have already made up your mind. Very well. We replace the cloth, like so, and when next we whisk it away, presto, the rabbit has returned, and now her home has gone. Book 2, The Vicious Cabaret, Chapter 1, The Vanishing. Disco ball, and they're actually dancing. Yes. You've never, since I've been here, you haven't. Well, what I mean is, it's not important, but, well, I just sort of thought that it might be that you, don't fancy me at all. Not that you should or anything, but that I want you to. Well, there could be a lot of reasons, why you don't ever, sleep with me or anything. Perhaps there was somebody else. I'd understand if there was. Or perhaps you don't sort of fancy women, but there's nothing wrong with that. Or perhaps I'm your father. How did you know that I thought that? V, are you? Come with me, Evie. I have a surprise for you. You'll have to wear this, I'm afraid. Don't worry. It's part of the surprise. This way. V, where are we going? It feels colder. Hush, Evie, and listen. Listen to what? It's just I keep thinking that I should try to help you the way you're helping me. That's the deal, isn't it? No deals, Evie, not unless you want them. That's me. That's what I said to you when... V, where are we? Can we make a deal? Yes, I think we can make a deal. V, this is creepy. I don't like it. I don't want to do any more killing. Not even for you. Not ever again. I've had enough of this. This is stupid. I'm cold. I'm taking... Oh. Incredible. Tire, empty city street. Really beautifully drawn. If it was in fact drawn, it could be a little bit of a photostat. Fee, where are we? What if someone sees us? Fee, I don't like this. Let's go back inside. We can't, said Silky, suddenly looking sad. Why not? Why not? Cried Joe in surprise. Isn't this the land of do as you please? Yes, said Silky. But it's time we went back to Faraway Tree. This land will soon be moving on, and soon as it is, we don't want to live here forever. Gracious knows, said Joe. Our mothers and fathers couldn't possibly do without us. Fee, stop it. I'm not your father, Evie. Your father is dead. Fee, this isn't funny. This is horrible. I want you to take me home. I want... It's a recorder, and... It's just a recorder, and he's gone. V? And she is alone, and perhaps home. Which is probably not where she really wants to be after all. You've gone, Derek. I never liked you. I was afraid of you. I loved you. You've gone behind the veil. Me too. Chapter 2, The Veil. They were all there at the funeral. They didn't like you either. Did they? Never realized that before. Helen Heyer barely spoke to me. She looked afraid, as if bereavement was catching. Roger Dascombe was there. He asked how I was coping with the bills. He was very friendly towards me. When I left, he shook my hand and told me to ring him if I needed anything. Smiled, just briefly as he said it. Held my hand too long. It was an offer, Derek, and yes, he makes me sick, and yes, I hate him. But when you're a widow, the world looks different. You step through a curtain and you're in a place where people treat you differently. A bleak place. You're gone, Derek, and I'm alone. And Derek, where I am, it's cold, and it's dark, and it's frightening. And this world is so dangerous. Now we're back to Evie. Once again, a brilliant transition between the monologue of Derek's widow and, of course, Evie, once again, abandoned. You're naked in the rain and everything has been taken away. All the security and the warmth and the shelter. And you'll try any refuge at all. You see, you're lost. All the world you understood has gone, and everywhere looks sinister and different. You're fumbling in the dark, and then you make contact of a sort. And it might not be pleasant, and you might be repulsed and draw back from it. No, not that anything, but really, where else can you go? What other choices do you have? Apparently that's her dead father in the shadows there. Except carrying on down into the dark, alone, completely and utterly alone. Dascombe rang earlier. He suggested a meal and a drink to cheer me up. I said no. He said to ring him if I changed my mind. They won't give me state support, Derek. And I can't get a job, no experience, you see. I had a home to look after. There's a mortgage and electricity and the phone. I thought about you, Derek, about having sex and not having sex and the fighting and the drink, and I really did love you. You were my lifeline. I was stuck at home. You connected me to the world, and I'm still clutching at you, even though you're broken and I'm adrift. And the same pictures play over and over, and I'm in the back row watching them, in the grubby, broken cinema of memory. I'll go back into the corners of the past, even the shadowy, sordid corners, just because you were there then. I'm trying to hang on to something even though I know it's gone, even though I know you aren't there anymore. The Salt Flats. It's about letting go. Academy Award nomination for Best Film of 1986. The loved one, you're gone. Nothing will change that. All I can do is pack away all the things I remember, put them in a drawer with all the other useless souvenirs, and just carry on. You've got to carry on. This is V, this transition to V, also dealing with his parting with Evie, even though I do believe it may be temporary, but he's trying to cope with it just as she's trying to cope with being a widow once again. Again, a really nice transition. Very seamless transition. We've got to just carry on. That's how we survive. That's our purpose. Strength through purity. Purity through faith. And then he's, of course, defaced that a little bit with his emblem, because we know all the incredible hypocrisy behind that slogan. Our purpose is to survive. Rosemary, whatever that takes. Are you ready for a taxi? I thought coffee at my place. He revolts me. He makes me feel dirty. And I know he's only doing this to get at you, even though you're dead now. But he's there, Derek. I can't face going into the dark. Not on my own. I made my decision, Derek. I rang him after tea, and the veil swung behind me. Oh, God. Oh, God. February 23rd, 1998. Today, Heidi, October 1st, 2501. This is when it begins. Those black butchers have had it their own way for too long. They rape our women, they burn our houses, our possessions, but no more, Heidi, because starting from today, I'm watching this on TV, Storm Saxon is fighting back. Oh, Storm, hold me tight. Heidi, what's wrong? Behind you, Storm, look out. What? So am the famous Storm Saxon. Television has Aryan propaganda on it, where, of course, blacks are portrayed as the evil, and the great white knight Storm Saxon is the hero. And oh my, who this pretty lady, this pretty little white lady? You mongrel trash, if you touch her, you'll what, Mr. Storm and Mighty Saxon? Now hold the lady down, boys. Of course, that's a caricature accent or dialect. Leroy, look out. The white devil got him a laser Luger. Die, you black cannibal filth. Of course, he's sort of interspersed the dialogue from the television with what's actually happening with V. As he, I guess, murders some more people. Die, die, die. And you can visit the nightmarish future of England, of Storm Saxon again at 8:05. next Tuesday on NTV1. But right now, it's trouble for Sid and Brenda when a neighbor accuses them of food hoarding. That's You Have to Laugh. Coming next, here on 1. And there again, everything is sort of geared towards this propaganda. In Aberdeen, over the last 300 years, 230 people have lost their lives in violent incidents propagated by the SNA. In Glasgow, the figure is even higher. Tonight, on 2, Interface looks at the facts behind the senseless terrorist violence. I was in Ireland. This is worse. Much, much worse. Brenda, are these your knockers? Kids of the 10 with the grenades. My, what? The women, they spit at you. Your knockers, your door knockers, the brass ones your mother gave you, spring-loaded with spikes in their car boot. Ooh, I wondered what you meant. Interspersing, again, is watching the news simultaneously with this cheesy sort of comedy, and Moore has sort of brilliantly sort of interspersed them between one another so that they sort of intermingle. Both equally absurd, I assume. Earn brew bottle, full of petrol, bit of rag. Here in Easterhouse, well, violence is on its way up. Sid, Mr. Glover at the munitions plant, wants me to work late with him tomorrow to catch up on my quota. He says I've got a little behind. I mean, my mate, standing beside this old Saracen, he was, anyway, got a bullet right in his eye. Anyway, if I show him, I'm willing to get stuck in, I think he might try in a more advanced position. Promotion, Sid. I think he's got his eye on me. Only the other day he said I had a big things in front of me. Yes, I bet he did. Ha 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 ha. M15s as punji sticks, white phosphorus frag bombs with plastic splinters that don't show up under X-ray. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Okay. It isn't a pretty picture, is it? However, slowly and surely, the SNA are being driven further north. And hopefully, by the target date of the year 2000, the United Kingdom will stand once more united. Well, next week, Interface looks at some satellite pictures of the Soviet wheat crop failure and asks, is Russia facing another revolution? Until then, good night. Oh, Sid, Sheriff, what if somebody comes in? I mean, we're supposed to be on the job. That's just what I say. Sid? Ha 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 ha. And now on to, it's time for a change of pace. Obviously, bomb belt. As we go over to Doc Green for another episode of the classic police series starring Jack Warner. Evening all. Crime, it's an ugly word, even here in Doc Green, especially when it involves innocent people like you or I. Tonight I'm going to tell you the story of Harry Bishop, who found out just how ugly crime can be the hard way. It all began with something my son-in-law Andy said to me over dinner. Get him off, I beg your pardon, Mr. Glover. Your shopping bags, get him off my desk. George, I'm worried about Lauderdale. Oh, lordy. Why? What's the matter, Andy? I don't know, George. Well, he's, different. Oh, dear, Mr. Glover. Now my melons are falling out. Well, she's saying that, of course. It's a double entendre, as her melons have actually fallen, but of course it's supposed to be that kind of cheesy comedy. Sort of British Married with Children. Ha! Picture's gone. See it too, Father. Bloody picture's gone. Dad, telly's packed up. Is it the aerial? Mom, the telly. Pay your bloody license money for... Wait a minute. Oops. That's a bit better. Hold it there. Wait. Good evening, London. I thought it time we had a little talk. Are you sitting comfortably? He's, of course, taken over the airwaves and removed all of this propaganda news coverage, as well as the silly pap comedy. Then I'll begin. Great extreme close-up. February 23rd, 1998, peak time. I suppose you're wondering why I've called you here this evening. Well, you see, I'm not entirely satisfied with your performance lately. I'm afraid your work's been slipping, and, well, I'm afraid we've been thinking about letting you go. Oh, I know. You've been with the company a long time now. Almost 10,000 years. My word, doesn't time fly? It seems like only yesterday. I remember the day you commenced your employment, swinging down from the trees, fresh-faced and nervous, a bone clasped in your bristling fist. Where do I start, sir? You asked plaintively. I recall my exact words. There's a pile of dinosaur eggs over there, youngster, I said, smiling paternally the while. Get sucking. So, the 10,000 years of failed policy, he's going all the way back to human evolution. Chapter 4, Vocational Viewpoint. And we're at NTV, NBS, the broadcasting. Well, we've certainly come a long way since then, haven't we? And yes, you're right. And all that time you haven't missed a day. And I might add, in your general standard of behavior, the constant bickering on the factory floor has not escaped my attention. Nor the recent bouts of rowdiness in the staff canteen. Then, of course, there's, I didn't really want to bring this up, but, well, you see, I've been hearing some disturbing rumors about your personal life. No, never you mind. Who told me? No names, no pack drill. I understand that you were unable to get on with your spouse. I hear that you argue. I'm told that you shout. Violence has been mentioned. I am reliably informed that you always hurt the one you love, the one you shouldn't hurt at all. What about the children? It's always the children who suffer. As you're well aware, poor little mites, what are they to make of it? What are they to make of your bullying, your despair, your cowardice, and all your fondly nurtured bigotries? Really, it's not good enough, is it? And it's no good blaming the drop in work standards upon the bad management either. Though to be sure, the management is very bad. In fact, let us not mince words. The management is terrible. The leader, watching, stewing, and there we go. All of the emblems of fascism from Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini. We've had a string of embezzlers, frauds, liars, and lunatics making a string of catastrophic decisions. This is plain fact. But who elected them? It was you. You who appointed these people. You who gave them the power to make your decisions for you. While I'll admit that anyone can make a mistake once, to go on making the same lethal errors century after century seems to make me nothing short of deliberate. You have encouraged these malicious incompetents who have made your working life a shambles. You've accepted their without question their senseless orders. You have allowed them to fill your workspace with dangerous and unproven machines. You could have stopped them. All you had to do was say no. You have no spine. You have no pride. You are no longer an asset to the company. I will, however, be generous. You'll be granted 2 years to show me some improvement in your work. If at the end of that time you are unwilling to make a go of it, you're fired. Guns blazing, and supposedly his body flies out of the window. That will be all. You may return to your labors. Normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. Chapter 5, The Vacation. Away. Why the bloody hell did I hit him? It wasn't his fault. He'd only been on the job for a week. Mr. Finch. Peter Creedy, taking over from Mr. Almond, the Finger. He's through here. We've not touched him. You heard what he did. Bloody ingenious. Breaks into Jordan Tower, holds Dascombe and his crew at detonator point, makes them broadcast this video. Made Dascombe seal off the building with his desk console. He knew the transmitter was inside the tower. Must have. With the building sealed off, he knew he could get in, pull the plug on him straight away. Bloody ingenious. Of course, he couldn't get out either. He'd sent everyone but Dascombe out of the control room just before we got here. When my lads burst in, he was standing in front of the observation window. He didn't even put up a fight. They just opened up with the shooters. Where's Dascombe? Sorry? Dascombe. Where is he? Well, I don't know. I mean, he must have wandered off somewhere in a daze, I suspect. He'd had a shock. You can say that again. He removes the Guy Fawkes mask, and of course he's replaced Dascombe. He's replaced himself with Dascombe, put on the mask, and set him up to be killed by his own men. How long ago did this happen? About 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. There's the slimmest chance that he's still inside the building somewhere. Search it. And then perhaps one of your wooden tops could call him Mr. Almond's widow. She and Dascombe have been close lately. All right, Finch. No need to start on my lads. Christ, anyone can make a mistake. Not with him, you can't. You make a mistake with him and you're dead. You or someone else. So now, Almond's widow is going to find out the second man that she has been with is dead in very short order. When are you going to stop treating this bastard as if he was human? When are you going to learn? When is everybody going to learn? It's alright, laddie. You let him carry on. Everybody knows he's been in the States since the doctor he was kipping with got bumped off. Why? He's clearly obsessed, and he's perhaps the only really intelligent one in the bunch. And the doctor who essentially created V in a sense by giving him the hormonal treatments, which were very similar to Nazi experiments on Jewish prisoners in Dachau and Auschwitz or whatever. He's of course dead, and so that's what they're referring to. Even though I think that's the first understanding we had that he had a relationship with her as well. I think her name was Delia. Why did I hit him? So this is all a flashback to, we saw him at the beach. He's on vacation supposedly, but quite likely it's a very forced vacation where he's been, sent out to pasture, at least temporarily. And when that guy made that sort of remark that offended him, he punched him, and now he's thinking back as to why he hit him. And of course then the leader must mete out justice or discipline, but in doing so he's essentially relieving his best man and the person who's most diligent and most intelligent in pursuing the case against V. The leader was good about it, really. I expected a lot more of a rollicking than I got. And then sending me here to Norfolk. Sending me on holiday, for God's sake. I mean, there's nothing here since the 89 flood. But a holiday. He must be worried about me. I'm worried about me. Dominic sounded alright on the phone last night. Coping well enough. Took me an hour to get through. We talked for 4 minutes. I wonder if it was him who told everybody about me and Delia. No? Probably Delia. She said she hadn't, but, well, she never told me about what she'd done at Larkhill. We only did it 3 times, all told, those years. We shared that bottle of scotch she'd brought over at the house. I made us bacon and eggs, 4 in the morning. Home. Oh, hello. Hello, Gord. It's alright, not stopping. Just dropped by to say we'd found someone to offload the booze on. Bloke over at the Pimlico. Magic. Tell Terry I'll see him around Saturday about the money. Yeah, okay. How's the lodger? By the way, Terry mentioned. She's alright. She's alright. You'll tell Terry Saturday then. No problem. See you, Gord. What was that? Old lady asked if I wanted to give her some money for waifs and strays. Told her I'd already got one. Liar. Your egg's done, if you're out of the bath. And it's got a stringy bit in it. That's your egg. Mine's the one without the stringy bit. You sound happier this morning. Where are you? In here. There were hairs all around the bath. Man's got to have a hobby. Mine's drowning kittens. Are you decent? Yeah, come in. There. You're cheering up a bit then. Getting over that bloke you were living with. Yeah, well, it was never really what you might call living with him. It wasn't that sort of thing. No, and neither's this. I better get back to downstairs and eat my stringy egg before I'd overcome by your voluptuousness. No need to be starky. Just because I got the best egg. No? Glad you're feeling better. Anyway, it can mess you up when somebody kicks you out. Yeah, well, not anymore, to tell you the truth, Gordon. I don't even think about him. Rather difficult when he is on the front page of the paper, the Daily Mirror. Of course, they listed as Guy Fawkes video error. It's just an error. In March 8th, 1998. I'm not politically ticklish, and theory makes me weary, and affairs of the state aren't my kind of affairs. I'd never bed, nor much less wed, the wag whose flag is deepest red. My taste run more to Londonderry airs, but it rallies in the night, and all the torches burning bright. I feel a stirring in me I cannot neglect, and I'll grasp with mad abandon any lad with an armband on, and whose cute salute is manly and erect. I like the boots. Da-da-da-da. I like the attitude. I like the point at which the legal meets the lewd. I like the thrill, da-da-da-da, of the triumph and will. I like the marching and the music and the mood. So even the burlesque shows have an air of Aryan pomp and circumstance, I suppose. Chapter 6, Variety. I think that's 6. So some blonde and blue-eyed boy would care to teach me strength through joy. The kitty cat Keller first. I was a bit too scared to enjoy it. Now I'm a bit too drunk. And see that all my liberal tendencies are cured. If it should be decreed by fate that you invade my neighboring state? So it was nice of Gordon to bring me here. I like him. Then you will find my frontiers open, rest assured. You want another? Oh yeah, go on then. He knows some interesting people. Not very nice, but interesting. I like the boots, da-da-da-da. There's that Roberty man. The one who was upset about his mother. Asked Gordon to do something. Keep big gangster on the way out. And when they hile, I smile and liquefy inside. And that pinched-looking woman rose. Something nobody'll sit near her because her last 2 men got killed. She looks lonely. I like their skin, da-da-da-da. I like their discipline. Oh wait, someone's going over. Miss Almond. I'm sorry, but the computer says that the entry card is overdrawn. I'll have to ask. He's taking her outside now, perhaps to another club. I'm glad she's got somebody. And the enormous sense of license it provides. There, go steady, that's your 5th. I'm alright. Alright, since you took me in. Anyway, Christ, I was so lucky to find anybody else. I found me nicking food from their dustbin. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe will be back later. You sure? You look funny. No, I'm fine, really. Just not used to this sort of place. Who's that man over there? But now, the Martinets. That's Creedy. Big boss copper. New bloke. The old one got killed. Why? Your friend Robert's talking to him. Oh, God. So, he is, look, just ignore it, eh? Make it nasty. Nasty. 6 lovely girls. Give him a big hand. Not there, Corporal. Ha 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 ha. What does he mean, nasty? I wish he wouldn't treat me like a kid. My word, it's all happening here tonight. Mr. Creedy pleased me, and Mr. Almond had an understanding about my mother. She was exempt. Mr. Almond's dead, Robert. Things are different now. You don't have any special status anymore. And your mom should have been in a home a long time ago. Homes. They're gas chambers. And 1 and 2. Not gas. If you want the truth, Robert, there's just 3. Good South kin boys with iron bars. Get out of my sight, you miserable old pansy. Aren't they gorgeous? Doesn't look nasty. Pub Rose. See one? You've seen them. Pub Rouse. Oh, really? What are they doing on stage? What an experience. Oh, Gordon, that's horrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not as strong as they usually. This usually let's have this drink and then Godi Hulo. Evening, ally. It's glad to see you, Goldie. You know, been getting a boot too much, eh? No, not much. Ally. Gordon mentioned, oh no, it's that Scottish bloke. Gordon said about Harper. Alright, that's your lot. Off they go. What did he say? All the troubles and bombings up north, all the Scottish gangs are moving to London? My mouth tastes funny. Must be busy, eh? The Martinets! Hey, it's awfully nice of you. Bit of rumpy-pumpy I got there, eh? Gordy? Leave it out, ally. I'm not in the mood. He said there'd be friction, and here he is talking about me? Suit yourself, eh? Luke, who's it is? Oh no, right. Who's for a sing-song? Gordon lad. I'm finished, boys. I've done it. They've got me. Ma'am, and I'm next. Hey, Bobby, pass off, will ya? I'm not partial to drinking with lepers. Look, Robert, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. I'm sorry, everybody's sorry. We shouldn't have to live like this. Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. Oh, Christ. Robert, look. I'm just going. Roll out the barrel. Let's get the blues on the run. You know what I wish? I wish the bastard bomb had it. Bastard London. Come on, Evie. That's what I wish. I wish we were all dead. It'd be better. Sing, boom, tarara. Let's have a good song, a good of cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel. I've had too much to drink. 'Cause the gang's all here. And here goes the fights. There's a lot of different dialogue going on in that segment, and accents, Scottish accents, simultaneously, stuff happening on the stage. Evie's monologue, yeah, her inner monologue. And this is perhaps outside of the club. I'm not quite sure yet. Looks like Gordon and Evie. Evie has been perhaps drugged because she was feeling pretty strange from the drinks. He was right, wasn't he? We shouldn't have to live like this, should we? No, kid, we shouldn't. What are you going to do about it? It looks like the boot of Mr. V as he's watching. He's keeping an eye on Evie, who seems to have gone from needing the protection of V to needing the protection of Gordon, who is a little bit of a shady gangster character, but so far seems to be treating her with reasonable respect. And then, of course, you had Almond's widow, who went from almond, and then she needed protection and someone to care for her, and she went to Dascombe, and he was murdered as well, and so she's pretty much left in the cold. And whether Moore is suggesting that this sort of state has set up a situation of where women are interdependent or actually completely dependent on a patriarchal society so that they cannot function on their own, and it creates these horrible situations where they have to go from essentially one raft to the next just to save themselves and just to be protected. That seems quite likely that that's what he's suggesting. Of course, Evie is only 15, so she would probably need to anyway. There's a nice silhouette of V, and a very sort of impressionistic silhouette of him leaning forward, almost wraith-like, into the cloudy British night. June 11th, 1998, Chapter 7, Visitors. Men running. Someone's being chased. April 15th, 1998. Evie, yeah. Well, I wanted to talk to you. What about? Something up? Well, no. What I was going to say was, well, you've been here a few months now. Up in the front bedroom. The thing is, I'll be needing that room soon. Got some stuff coming. You want me to go? Go? Jesus Christ, no, of course not. I don't want you to go. But where am I going to sleep? Well, there's my room. Are you sure? I thought you liked it, just being on your own. Won't I get in the way? Of course you won't. I'd have said something before, but, well, I didn't think you'd fancy the idea. And immediately, she fancied the idea. Well, I do, huh? I feel really stupid now. Why? I don't know. Will you give me a kiss? All right. June 11th, 1998. Evie! Gordon, But what? Lock yourself in the bathroom. And don't make a peep. Visitors. Go on. Gordy, hello. These are the Scots, and he clearly has a weapon wrapped up here. Looking over his shoulder. I say, Goddy, looks like you got me locked out, no? I'll tell you what, I can hurt. Yeah, but, how about, let's talk in for a while. Maybe you're right, Goddy, Maybe you could, handle the booze. And all content, muzzle with the literature. You're a greedy bastard, Harper. You want everything? And anyway, who's going to put Kipper's face back in order? Aye, well, accidents happen, Gordy. I tell ya, what I cannot hear. Yes, good. Why and I give yourself over by the door. Perhaps we can work out some compensation for you, poor old kipper. Eh? It'll take more than bastard compensation, you vicious get. He couldn't even see. Eh, well, just listen to my offer. Eh? So... I genuinely think you'll be surprised. Well, let me see what was wrapped up in there. Sword. And bam, right through the door. They just wanted to take full control over whatever the business and the profits, their black marketing deal. And she's up in the bathroom. Gordon? Gordon, can I come out yet? And another safe haven is dead. And seems like Evie simply can't get a good break. She's sitting stunned, remembering what happened to her father when he was basically hauled off. Perhaps her being an intellectual, remembering when she was left on the street, abandoned by V quite suddenly. So she's suffering shock and separation anxiety. The bed is empty. She's remembering them making love, opening a drawer, a gun, and perhaps contemplating suicide now. Chapter 8, Vengeance. Or perhaps contemplating vengeance. She's back at the kitty cat key. Kelly. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I startled you. I wonder if you knew where the stage was. Stage. I guess that's Almond's widow. I have a job. I start tonight. I can't find the stage door. No? No, I don't know where it is. I'm sorry. Perhaps around back? Your name's Rose, isn't it? Yes. Yes, that's right. Well, I'll have another look. Thanks anyway. Sorry if I startled you. It's alright. A lot of cigarette butts there. Someone's shoes. Probably not hers. Not really a good city to sit in a dark alley. Hey, Bob. Get him in, eh? Yeah, you's a tight bastard, you're. Go on. Gives a pin to Evie. Anna Babachum for yourself, eh? Piss off, will ya? What's the matter, Bob? We're celebrating. Do you feel like celebrating or what? Speaking for myself, I'm getting stammered. So was a one with a big tits, is it, Carol? Yeah. No, that's Jim's bird. What's her name? Dion? Hmm. Careless one works for the, what's the name, the eye? And she's pointing the gun. She sees the men she wants. And just as she's about to shoot, quite likely it's V who has stopped her. Even though that certainly doesn't look like the Guy Fawkes mask, right? Fade to black. Looks like another mask, perhaps, as a cover. The air around me is completely black. I think that perhaps I'm in backstage at the theater during the interval. There are muffled bumpings nearby. Stagehands are rearranging the scenery. I smell roses and think about the scented birthday cards my mother found in a shoebox at her house on Shooter's Hill. The petals fall, pencil shavings of cream flesh. Everything changes. Chapter 9, Vicissitude. It's my birthday. I'm still in the theater. But I know it's really our old house. I can hear a party in the upstairs. I know it's a birthday party for me, but I have a sinking feeling that there will be over my time by the time I get there. It's taking me so long to get ready. I don't even know why I'm bothering to get dressed up like this, but I feel as if it's expected of me. I wish I didn't have to. I want to go to the party now. Evie, you're missing your party. We've hired a Punch and Judy man specially. I'm glad Dad could come. Haven't seen him much since I started work at the match factory. He leads me upstairs to the party. I wonder if this is our old house after all. Looks like the stairs remind me of somewhere else. And I feel sad, but I don't know why. Looks like I would get to the party after all, but then Dad steers me into one of the bedrooms. He wants to show me the sky from the window, he says. It's yellow and black. As you can see, this is actually her father, or some emblem of her father, and then this looks like Gordon, which both in a way are father figures, and I guess that's again more suggesting that she's, because of what happened with her father, she's now seeking father figures wherever she can find them. But then, of course, this is also a flashback to the bishop and his room with only a giant bed and nowhere to sit but on the bed, of course. The bishop pedophile. He tells me he needs my old room to hide something, but that I can sleep with him in here from now on. This room looks familiar too, but I don't know why. He starts to kiss me and get into the bed. I wonder if he's ill. He looks so old suddenly. Then my mother opens and my mother comes in. I realize that I'm in bed with my father and I start to apologize. She doesn't seem to mind. She tells me that the Punch and Judy man is about to start. I realize that she wants to be alone with Dad, so I go next door. Outside the corridor looks different. I'm certain now this isn't our house, but where am I? Suddenly I remember. I'm at the old folks' home in South Kensington. The Punch and Judy man has been arranged to entertain the inmates. Why did I think it was my birthday? I move through the crowd for a better look at what's happening on stage. Some volunteers have gone up from the audience. They're standing in a line in front of Mr. Punch, I think. I know some of them. What's he going to do? I think we see. That's the way to do it. Oh dear, oh dear. Why doesn't somebody stop him? Everybody's just laughing. I ran off to find my mom and dad, knowing as I do that he's sure to follow me. I'm very frightened now. I don't recognize any of the corridors, and the Mr. Punchman will turn the corner behind me any second. I can hear my heart hammering inside me. There's no other noise in the whole theater. Everybody else must be dead. Dad, Mom, Gordon? They've left me alone with him. I turn and run back the way I've come, but the corridor is gone. There's a big flight of spiral stairs instead. My legs are heavy. I can hardly move them. He's going to catch me. I get to the top of the stairs and look down the well. He's coming up after me. Round and round he goes. I remember that there's a lift up here that goes all the way to the basement down to the basement. I've never get to it in time. He's right behind me. Please don't let the door shut before I get to it. I'm almost there. Oh, thank God. Down to the ground floor. He'll have to take the stairs and... Boom. Still there. And that was all a dream, of course, and now she appears to just be waking up, very fuzzy-headed. And she is in a cell. Strength through purity, purity through faith. There's a rat. I sit on the cot, hard wood against my bum, knees stiff with cramp, drawn up to my chin. There's a rat. I try not to think about anything at all except that there's a rat, and I think they're going to kill me. There's 4 walls, 2 windows with 6 bars, 1 toilet with no seat. There's a wooden partition and a cot, and carved on the cot is my name, Emma. And there's me. And there's a rat. Chapter 10, Vermin. And let's call it a day right there. And return with more reading tomorrow. So far, it's brilliant, of course. And I hope everyone else is enjoying it. And that's it, and I'll be back next time with another reading as we continue. We're closing in, I suppose, on the halfway point, and as I said, Chapter 10, Vermin, which promises to be good. So, see you next time. Thanks again. This is Satanico for Godlovescomics. Bye.